Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to our intermediate class keychain edition. Today we're going to be showing you a little bit more about Tinkercad. This video will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. We're going to go ahead and sign into our Tinkercad, which we have already done, and we're going to click on this project. If you are starting fresh, you can just click on Create, and it'll send you to the work plane. If you have a project already started and you want to go in and edit, you can go ahead and press Tinker this. And then your project will load up. So just kind of want to show you there's a variety of different things you can do with this software. You can create a little character like this. You can make a little die. And today we're going to be showing you how to create a very basic keychain. You can definitely go all out and create other versions of this keychain. You can make this round instead of square. There's just a variety of different things you can do. And then I'm going to show you how you can submit this to the Forge Makerspace at the Ela Area Public Library for printing. We do charge 10 cents a gram. You will get emailed once your project has been printed and how much it weighs. And then you can come into the library and pay for your object using cash. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is kind of the project that we're going to do. And then if we have a little bit of extra time, I'll show you how to use the tools to create this really cool die. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and add our square, and we want it to be roughly inch-wise. Normally your Tinkercad is set to millimeters. So you can kind of play around with that. You can change that by just clicking settings and clicking on inches. Close setting, we'll keep it at inches. So that way we can kind of see. We want this to be roughly about 3 inches wide, let's say 1.5 inches thick maybe. I think that might be, yeah. And this is 3/4. So this is a little thinner. We can go ahead and look at the overview. Yeah, let's go ahead and stretch this out just slightly so that the word can fit. So you can kind of see how big it's going to be. The size that you have it on here will be the size that it prints out. So this is about 3.5 inches, and the height is 1.5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and place that there. If you kind of click on your right mouse button, you can go ahead and navigate the plane in this this motion. You can also do it by clicking your left button and holding down the control key. So we're going to go ahead and use this angle to go ahead and adjust the height of our box. So we want our box to be approximately, I say 1/4 of an inch. So we don't want it to be too thick. This one is a little thicker, on the thicker side. I think that's a good size. Now we're going to go ahead and add some text. So it has texting tools here. So like you saw, I dropped this cube shape onto our work plane. There are also, round shapes that you can play around with, cylinders, triangles, cones, stars, and then you can also go in and look at other shapes that Tinkercad has for you to play with. So for the purposes of this class, we're just going to focus on the basic shapes, and our favorite is the text option. So we're going to go ahead and grab the text and just place it right onto our work plane. And then here, a little box, a dialog box opens up. This is where you can change the style and things like that. So right here where it says text, this is where we're going to type in our text. So we want a keychain that says Forge. You can change the font. There's different fonts for you to choose from. I believe there's 4 of them. So I kind of like that one. And you can change the height, the B level, and the segments. We're not going to get into that today. We're just going to keep it simple. So we're going to go ahead and, in order to see the difference, we can change the color. Any changes in color in this program do not reflect when printing. the Forge only prints in one color, so your object will be printed out in one color. The good news for that is that even though it's one color, you can go ahead and paint it with acrylic paint. Acrylic paint does very well with our PLA filament. All right, so let's go ahead and center our text in the middle of our rectangle. We're going to go ahead and highlight both objects, the text and the box. And we can use this alignment tool right on the top right. If you click on it, you'll get these little dots. So we can go ahead and click on the center this direction and then the center in this direction so that we know that the text is centered directly in the middle of the rectangle. All right, so we're going to make sure that this forge is we can either carve this into our keychain or we can have it protruding out of our keychain, so it'll get printed outwards. I will show you both versions. So we're going to go ahead and highlight both objects. We're going to go ahead and copy and paste so we can see the difference. And move this over here. So if we want to have this carved out, we're going to go ahead and change the text. So make sure you're clicking on the text. We're going to change it from a solid to a whole. Again, using that tool dialog box that opens up right over here. Click that whole option and your color will disappear and it'll kind of look like it's being carved out of that shape. Now it's not quite done yet. So if we leave this whole text right above our rectangle, it will not be carved out. What we have to do is click that text and using this cone right on the top of it, let's angle it so you guys can see it better. So we're going to go ahead and click that text again. There's a cone that kind of appeared at the bottom. There we go. The cone that's right on top, we're going to click that, hold it down and drag this down about -1/8. So we're going to see that it's through the keychain. As you can see, it kind of appeared on the bottom. So you can have this cut right through the bottom. The only issue with that is that your center part of the O will not be attached to your keychain at all. It'll just fall out. Same thing with the G and the E. So we kind of want to raise it up quite a bit. Let's go ahead and take our snap grid off so that we can adjust the size just a little bit easier. And we're going to go ahead and just raise it up till about 0.1. Make sure it's not going through and just kind of lower it maybe just slightly. I think that will work. It's not popping out through the back, so that looks good. So once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and highlight again both objects, the text and the rectangle, and we're going to use our grouping feature. This is going to finalize your object and give you the finished product. So go ahead and press that group feature, and as you can see, it carves it out of the rectangle. So this is an option that you can choose. Now let's go over here. Now let's have this protruding out. So we can see that the text is kind of, let's go ahead and press the home button right here on the left. There we go. We can see that the text is kind of popping out in the back, and that's perfectly fine. It's flush to the rectangle. So we're going to go ahead. This is a lot easier. You're going to click on both objects and just group them. So once you group them, again, you're going to finalize your object. So these will be attached. So you will no longer be able to separate your text from the rectangle. This is together. Same thing over here. This is together. So now you've created, see, as I told you, it's flush, so it won't show. Now you've created this, this keychain, but the text is protruding out, and this text is protruding inwards. So those are the two options that you can choose from. Now, in order to create the keychain feature, which is right above here, that little circle, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create these two keychains. We're going to go ahead and click on this tube shape here. I'd recommend this tube shape or even this torus shape, not this ring shape. It's a little on the thinner side, so if you put a key ring on it, it might break off. It's a little too thin. So we're just going to go ahead and use this tube shape, and we're going to go ahead and attach it to our plane, and we're just going to go ahead and do that. We can attach it to the corner like so. All right, and it's a little on the thick side and it's floating. So again, we're gonna drop this down until this button here says 0. We can go ahead and click 0 on that, and it'll make it flush to our plane. We're gonna use this cone shape to sorry, not the cone shape, the top square right here to lower, so to thin it out. The thickness will be a lot thinner. All right, I think that's working out great. So we're gonna go ahead and place our keychain right about there. I think that works. We can go ahead and make it a little wider by just kind of making it into an oval. Here, I'll show you the shape that we have finally. So you can use these squares around your objects to change the different shape of to change the shape of your object ultimately. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we want to make sure it's centered, so go ahead and click on both objects so they're both highlighted. Again, we're going to use that align tool and just click on this center circle here, and that'll center it where we want it. So we like that. You can always duplicate your shapes by just clicking copy up here on the top left and then clicking paste. And then you can go ahead and use your arrows or your mouse to go ahead and move that around. So we're going to go ahead and put that same shape to this other keychain. Again, we're going to use our align tool and center it, and that looks great. So we're going to go ahead and once again we're finished with our project, we're going to finalize it, and we're going to go ahead and press the grouping. When I say the color doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter. When you submit your print, this will you'll have an option to pick your own color. So the color that you have on Tinkercad will not matter. So let's go ahead and finalize this second keychain by highlighting both objects and pressing group. All right, so you have both keychains finished, and so you can definitely decorate it at however you'd like. I do want to show you another way of making this keychain that is a little different. So let's say you just want maybe a tag, not necessarily a chain. You don't need such a big hole. You just need a kind of small one here. You can use these two shapes that are up here that are grayed out. These are hole shapes. So if you click on that and just drag it onto your work plane, and let's click on the hole, and we adjust the size. Let's do like, that's a good size. So we click on that and we just kind of put it here in the corner, or maybe we wanna, this is just to show you what it does. You can actually create a hole within your keychain. So if we extended this square out, we could have made a hole here. You can do that by just creating that cylinder hole and then dragging this down so that it goes straight through the rectangle. Again, when you want to finalize your project, let's say, yes, that's where I want my hole, you're going to go ahead and highlight both objects, group them, and you'll be able to see that hole that you just created. So this will print a hole straight through the object. So it literally carved it out. So that is another awesome tool that you can use for a variety of different reasons and projects. So let's say you don't want that hole there. You can easily just do the undo button, and this will undo that grouping, and you can go ahead and just delete that hole. And you have your keychain back. All right, so that is how to make a keychain. I kind of wanted to show you a variety of other cool shapes that they have here. So let's play around with the die. You can adjust the size again using the corner squares. If you hold down Shift, it will not lose its specific dimensions. So you can definitely use that to your advantage when you're trying to keep something symmetrical or something, you know, spherical and things like that. And then let's say we want numbers. If you click on basic shapes, I believe we have, here we go, letters and numbers. So design starters, and we're going to go to letters and numbers. They have their own set of letters and numbers. So let's scroll down and let's go ahead and play around with these numbers. So another cool feature that this has is rotating. So right now the number is laying straight down onto the work plane, but we want to rotate it 90 degrees. If you hover over the little curved arrows, you can rotate this by typing in to the box that pops up, or you can just drag it to 90 degrees. So let's say we do this and we change it to 15 degrees. It'll do that. So let's go ahead and change it back to 90 degrees. And again, this is just to show you the different tools that Tinkercad has. Again, using the little cone shape, you can go ahead and raise it up to where you want it. And then you can just click and drag left, right, back, and front to add it to your die. You can also click on both the align tool and actually do this automatically by just using the center circle here horizontally and vertically. And then you have your one, just like we did here on this die. Again, remember to finalize your project. If I go ahead and click on this die and move this around, the numbers will stay where they were. I have to group everything to finalize my project. So if I highlight all the numbers and the die, press group, it'll make it into one solid object, which is our goal. So it is grouped into one solid object. So now we move it together and it'll get printed as such. This didn't do the same thing as this one did where it changed the color. It actually is clicked onto multicolor because we chose different shapes here. But if we unclick it, it will turn into a solid color. So we have that. There's a lot of different other shapes that you can use. So like hardware, you can see there's gears, there's bubble wands, there's parts for robots and people, beads, all that fun stuff, creatures and characters. We have eyes. We can do characters like you can add a mustache to somebody, add sunglasses. You can create your own version of a person. There's a lot of other different shapes that you can work with and play around with. All right, so that is our intermediate class to keychain making. I'm going to show you how to download your file for printing and how to submit it to using our online form. So we're going to go ahead and click on everything that we want to print. So if we just want to print this keychain, just make sure this keychain is highlighted. We actually want to print both keychains, so we're going to click on both. And they're going to be printed just like that. So we're going to go ahead and press export right here on the top right. And you're going to click on STL. Now, if you want everything within your design to be created into a file, you can click on everything in the design. We only selected two shapes, so those are the two shapes we want on our file. So we're going to go ahead and click .stl. That is our preferred file type. You can go ahead and do .obj, but we have we're limited on what we can edit. So if you need any help, we are limited to what we can edit on .obj. STL is our choice. So we're going to go ahead and click on .stl and we're going to download it. So that's downloaded. And now we're going to go ahead and go to eapl.org, which is our website. And underneath Learn, we're going to click that. And a little drop down should appear. Under Explore, we're going to go to our Forge Maker space, which is our designated page within our website. And we're going to scroll down. You can definitely look at all the information we have, any updates and news on our makerspace will be here. You can check out different equipment, tech kits, and all that fun stuff. We have frequently asked questions, and we're going to focus right here on the right on these tabs. So right here where it says request a 3D print, that is what we're going to click. And this is our online form. Everything with a red asterisk is required. So please fill in all of that information. Your library card can be a library card from any library within our system. If your library card is not registered in our system, we will not be able to print your item until you come into the library to register your card. Your library card also has to be in good standing, meaning you don't own any fines or have any blocks on your card. So we will communicate with you if there is an issue with your card, and we'll let you know that you need to come in to get that resolved. And once that is resolved and your library card is good to go, we will go ahead and proceed with your print. Email address is required. This is how we communicate with you about what's going on with your print, if there's any issues, if we can't print it because it's not printing correctly, or maybe there needs to be some editing involved, things like that. So that is very important that your email address is accurate. Color preference, this is, you can only pick one color from our list here. So let's go ahead and say we want these keychains, I don't know, let's do a fun color like purple. So you can go ahead and click purple. If you don't care what color you get, you can click on surprise me. This is where you're going to upload your file. So we're going to go ahead and click browse and go through our computer, or we can click on the file right below and just drag and drop it into that option right there. In our comment section, this is where you can go ahead and just be like, can you print this? Can you print this? You know, you can say if it's like a little figurine, maybe 3 inches tall, you know, as long as it fits within our parameters, we will try our best. But let's say if you can also say if you don't have purple, please print out in gold. All right, so we will try our best to fulfill the purple request, but if we don't have purple, you're letting us know that a second color option is gold. You can also ask, can you email me an estimate before printing? Another fun comment that we've seen that we are happy to communicate with you is, can you email me when our print is printing? We would love to come and watch. So if you do add this comment to your submission, we will send you an email as soon as we are about to upload your print to the printer, and we'll give you a print time estimate so you'll know approximately how long it's going to take to print, so you can come by the library and watch as the magic happens. Our 3D printers are really cool to watch, and you can definitely see them through our glass windows. So that is how you submit a print. Once you click submit, it'll be sent directly to us, and we will add you to our print queue. I do want to highlight some things. This is the dimensions that we have. We currently have new printers, so the dimensions can be adjusted just slightly. Also, your prints cannot take longer than 10 hours to print. Our printers do not print while staff is not in the building, so when the library closes, all our printers get turned off. Another thing is we are limiting to one project at a time per library card, just to accommodate the influx of prints that we get in. We appreciate you understanding that we're trying to make it fair for everyone. Prints can take 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes our turnaround is a lot faster, but 2 to 3 weeks typically. For larger prints, it will be that 2 3 weeks. Smaller prints that take about an hour or so will be, the turnaround is a lot quicker, so maybe a week or so. And once it's complete, we'll email you for you to come pick it up, and then you can request another one. And again, our 3D prints cost 10 cents per gram, which is the cost of filament. And that is it. So you can definitely check out our 3D printing page if you have any questions and want to find out the answers yourself, or feel free to email us at forge@eapl.org. I hope you enjoyed this program. And if you print something, we are excited to see the kinds of submissions that we get in the upcoming months. Thank you.